News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Denise Pellegrini. Deadly Russian attack on Ukraine. Dozens killed in a Russian missile attack on the Ukrainian city of Sumy. 2 ballistic missiles striking the heart of the city this morning as people gathered to celebrate Palm Sunday, according to Ukrainian officials. Videos posted from the scene on official channels show bodies on the ground amid debris and smoke around the city. President Trump was asked by reporters last night about U.S. efforts to end Russia's war against Ukraine, and here's what he said about that.
I think Ukraine-Russia might be going okay, and you're going to be finding out pretty soon. You know, there's a point at which you just have to either put up or shut up, and we'll see what happens.
Trump to reporters last night on his way to a UFC event in Florida with billionaire Elon Musk and podcaster Joe Rogan. Trump received a standing ovation when he entered. Investors in the U.S. getting ready for another intense trading day after that major reprieve for U.S. tech companies, including Apple and Nvidia, revealed by the Trump administration late Friday night. The Trump administration excluding smartphones, computers, other electronics, and tech items from the so-called reciprocal tariffs. Those are the massive tariffs on China and the 10% tariffs on many other countries. But this reprieve for tech companies and their stocks could be temporary, according to some, because the tariff threat isn't over, they say. Other product or sector-based tariffs could be coming instead. And in fact, Trump has promised multiple times to put tariffs on the semiconductor industry. Stocks rebounded Friday after a wild roller coaster ride for stocks and bonds this past week, sparked by the escalating trade war. Sarah Hunt, chief market strategist at Alpine Woods Capital Investments, says there are winners and losers in this environment.
I think all of us are trying to figure out what's been going on underneath the surface and or the size of some of these moves, how problematic that is, because so many firms have levered up more and more as we've had less volatility. And then you get volatility that is off the charts. And you have to think that there are some reactions to that. And some of those are going to be people making a lot of money, and some of them are going to be the opposite.
And Hunt there on the Bloomberg Surveillance podcast, which you could download wherever you get your podcasts. Meantime, Japan's LDP policy chief, Itsunori Onodera, clarifying something. He says Japan is not planning to use its U.S. Treasury holdings as a negotiating tool to counter U.S. tariffs. Talks are scheduled between the U.S. and Japan on trade this coming Thursday. Iran said the first formal talks with President Trump's administration over its nuclear program yesterday were constructive and says the two sides will meet again next Saturday. Iran's foreign ministry says Iran's foreign minister and the U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff did meet briefly and speak directly after those talks, according to a statement from the foreign ministry. More details about that tragic, fatal helicopter crash in the Hudson River Thursday that killed 6 people, including 3 children. Helicopter was on its 8th sightseeing trip of the day. It lacked a flight data recorder or a cockpit voice recorder. A crash adding to a troubling safety history for New York Helicopter, which filed for bankruptcy in 2019. Here is the brother of the mother who was killed in that crash.
They left together, they left without suffering, and they left with a smile on their faces.
And the brother of the mother killed in that crash in the Hudson River Thursday there. The NTSB is investigating. Senator Bernie Sanders taking his Fighting Oligarchy, Where We Go From Here tour to Los Angeles.
So I invite the president to come to L.A. Tell the people here why you think it's a great idea to cut Medicaid and nutrition and health care so you can give tax breaks to billionaires. The people of L.A. would love to hear that.
Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont there. New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez also on that tour. And in golf, the final round of the Masters today at Augusta National. Rory McIlroy sits top of the leaderboard, followed by Bryson DeChambeau, then Corey Connors. Defending champion Scottie Scheffler trailing way behind. And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Denise Pellegrini, and this is Bloomberg.